After so many years, I decided to make another video. It's been a long time since I made them. I was making videos back to back for a while, but then I met my partner who I'm with now, had a child, and so many things have happened that I was just not in the right headspace or even knew what to say to make a video. I've been planning on making videos about a number of things. There's so much I feel I need to share. So many of the negative things that have happened. So much. I make videos on ascension, on negative beings, and I tell when an attack comes, an attack comes. And even if you're prepared for it, it hits hard. People call it the dark night of the soul. Well, I think I've had several dark nights of the soul back to back. So there's a few things I want to talk about. I'm going to divide it up into several different videos because it's too much to talk about in one. It's going to talk mainly on negative attachments, negative entities, black demon things in doorways, how it affects your family life, how it affects people's minds, how it causes a whole heap of horror in your life, and how you can try and get rid of it. And I say that's why it's taken me a long time to make this video, because it's taken me a long time to actually get rid of it and keep rid of it, keep it out of my life. These things are persistent and they'll find any doorway in. And when it says in the Bible, not that I follow religion, that the doorway to heaven is narrow, oh, it sure is. It sure is. And people will hear what I'm going to say and say, what's the point in living if you're not doing this, this, this and this? Perhaps we're not meant to be doing those things in life. Perhaps they're all trickery. Perhaps what you deem as being fun or by day or a way to get through life is actually so ridiculous that it just brings more harm than good. And looking at life a different way is what can save you from lots of negativity. Now, I know by even talking to you I'm going to get people watching me, but there's a big difference now than there was then. I removed all my chakras. What a freeing feeling. Okay, at first it was the maddest thing I've ever done. And if you do energy work and you do Reiki or any kind of work where you're aware of your energy, and you're probably going to feel it immediately the minute you've unplugged your first one. It's a crazy feeling. And it wasn't just me, because since then my partner's removed his chakras, my best friend's removed her chakras, and each one had the same, they knew instantly. It's like a bing, you feel it going up. And the really bizarre feeling you get is like as soon as the first one that undid the base chakra, and I'll describe what they look like to me anyway. I suppose we all see things how our mind understands it, but they're like little flat strips of tinfoil. That's what it looked like, right? With a little bump on it, and it almost looked like the little bump was a compass. I don't know, right? That's what it looked like, this little thin strip of tinfoil. And I just dissolved it. I don't need you anymore. I just dissolved this from my existence, and ping, right away, the energy shot up. And it felt like I'd ripped the skin off myself because it felt burning and raw, and I've been working through what that means. And once I removed them all, I didn't have any grounding. I was like, not connected to anything, and then I had to teach myself a whole new way of connecting to cosmic consciousness, because now I can get out of the net. Now I can get past the matrix. Now I can feel them attacking me, as in I can see them, I'm aware of them, but I can't feel them touching me now. I can't feel slaps, I can't feel astral burning attacks, claws, nothing. It's like they've nothing to grip hold of anymore. Really bizarre, really good. Why did I wait, till I was 45 to remove my chakras? I grew up in a world where when you were getting into spirituality, it was all about, cleanse your chakras, ground yourself, and something didn't ever resonate with me with that. Didn't feel this connection to chakras. It felt a bit like silly, new agey, I don't know, it didn't feel right. So when I decided to do it, well, hell, why not, right? And my partner says to me, well, but what if you ruin something by doing that? What if you, do something terrible and can't undo it. And I says, well, if we're naturally meant to have something, it can't be undone, right? If it's a natural part of us, if it's our soul, we cannot break bits of our soul, right? It's a force. It's us. It's our being. But the fact I could remove it kind of hints at it being a fake construct. Something with which to give us a certain amount of feeling that we have power, we have control. But anyone who's ever done an OBE, you'll be very aware, same as me, that it's always controlled. It's like they allow you to get out. And you're shown what you're meant to be shown. Yes, we have had freedom and I've seen many great things, I've had great adventures, but a lot of it's controlled. I've been very aware that I was allowed to get out. I was watched constantly while I was out. Whereas I'll tell you now, I don't know if I can get out. I don't know, I've not tried that. I mean, I have tried. I tried really hard at one point. My dad just passed away a few weeks ago and I was desperately trying to get out and make sure I could get him through the net, and I couldn't get out. I couldn't. I had to do it through remote viewing, which worked, and it was really interesting. I learnt a lot from doing that experience. Because you know, if you do remote viewing, you don't know what's coming next. Some part of you seems to have a plan, but you're not aware of it. You're just going from here to there to the next place. But I went to somewhere that was really bizarre when I took my dad there. And I caught him just at the right time, I think, because when I finally, because I couldn't get my body. And I used to be able to do it with ease. It used to be something that was so easy. I just couldn't. Every time I felt that relaxation, the slipping, the sinking into something, the disconnection, there was nothing to disconnect from. What do you do? If any of you have removed chakras before, please tell me, how do you astral project when you do not have the keyholes to get out of? I really need to learn that. I'm going to be working on it, so if I do learn this, I will be updating you on it. I will definitely be trying to do this. Then remember, I think we're meant to go inside, into the innerverse to connect. We don't come from out there. Out there is a construct. Do we really need to be out there in the construct? I can use remote viewing to connect with anybody on the planet at any time. So I don't think I need to, I don't know. Anyone can give me a heads up on that. I'd be most appreciative. And also, I'm writing my book. Decided that all these experiences, things that have happened to me, I'm putting it down in a book once and for all. And I'm trudging through it. It's taken me years. Years, because it's quite harrowing when you're writing about things that have really affected you. Experiences you've had. It's a lot of experiences. How do you fit all this into one book? You know, and what do you write next? But when I sit down and write it, it flows like someone's writing it through me. It's really easy. It's making myself sit down and write it. Especially with a 3-year-old. Well, she's turned 4 now. She's 4. She's a whirlwind. I'm only able to speak right now because my partner's collecting her from nursery. She may walk in any minute, and I've got to stop. So that's why I haven't had much time, as well as all the other things. It's also why I'm making a video now too, why I feel it's really important to make another video and pass on what experiences what I've had and how I've managed to avoid them. Because it's not just me going through this. There's a lot of you going through this. And if we can help each other, and I think everybody should be making a video who's going through stuff like this, who's going through attacks, and helping each other find ways, new techniques, different ways of getting through this mud, finding an inner core to hold on to, just to stop the shit, to be honest, excuse my French, but my daughter's, ever since she was born, has been able to see them. Now, I've never talked about it, but I don't talk to a baby about stuff. And the way she explains things, and she's terrified, and, I've got 2 other children as well, who are now 18 and 21. And they've seen things from the age of like 7, they started seeing things, maybe younger, but really, they're a bit older when they started to see these things. She's so young, and she's so scared. She calls it the fizzy man. He's got sharp claws. And from only someone so young to tell me that he's always next to me and she's scared, and and she's so receptive. I quietly, when lying next to her one night, put her into a magic bubble to protect her. And right away she says, "Oh mummy, you've put me into a magic bubble, it's so pretty." And she's doing this with her energy, her hands, trying to see if it could burst. Rather than poke it, she's playing with it like it's a movable thing. And she goes, "But the fizzy man's going to pop it." I said, "You can't pop it because mummy made it, it's my creation, it can't be popped, it's unpoppable." She said, "But he'll try, his big long nails will try." You know. I said, you can't pop it. But she's terrorised, and it's bloody awful. You know, as a parent, to have your child see things that you don't want them to be seeing. I mean, I think there's a reason why she's seen it. Perhaps she's going to be some super powerful spirit being, you know, and this is our training ground. I have to be optimistic about it, otherwise it's just that I'm just being attacked mercilessly, and so's my children. And in dreams to try and take her off me, and yeah, that could be fear on my part. But when you put it alongside the fact that she's seen these things during the day, and she's getting woken up by them, and you're hearing footsteps upstairs above, she's the bedroom above me, and you can hear the footsteps walking in the middle of the night. You know that someone's going into her room, right? She wakes up and she's tiny little fingerprints inside her thighs. That's usually the greys, right, that do that. Come back with these little fingerprint marks on you. I've had it all my life, although it's stopped now. I don't seem to get fingerprints in my thighs anymore. Maybe they got sick of me attacking them. I don't know. But one group of beings I have had a lot of contact with recently is I call them the whistling greys. They're really gentle beings. I remember first meeting them, maybe 2011, something like that. And I saw this light thing move across the sky. And I'm looking at it, and me being nosy, I remote view. I do most things by remote viewing because it's one of the most natural things to me. So I remote view, and I go up and I see it's a ship full of these kind of very earthy kind of greys. I feel it's an earthy energy, you know. So I think they must be native to Earth. That's what I think. But they're very fragile. You won't get much contact with these beings because I think they can be really easily hurt. But they whistle, right? It's so beautiful. And this first time I encountered them, I remember realising that I could be seen, that I'm being nosy, that they can see me, and I'm scaring them. And so I quickly came back into my own conscious mind again. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to just invade like that. I didn't think I could be seen. And I heard this noise as a ship. I could realise pretty soon it was a ship coming across me. And it did this noise, kind of it's like a flute, right? And it goes like, doo doo doo, doo doo doo, doo. And it's like, unlike any noise you've ever heard a bird make, or any animal that I've ever heard. And it filled the sky. I remember thinking at the time, God, everybody must be able to hear this. This must have just shone across the whole nation, because it echoed through the skies. It was so beautiful. And I actually sat there and I cried, because it was almost like connecting with God. If you're religious and you feel like God's come to you, or it was something so amazing. Then I didn't see them for years. There was nothing from them. I think the other stuff was overshadowing that. Nobody wanted to come near me when the black beings were here. And those black beings fill a whole doorway and more. It's like black soot. It's so black. It's so black. You couldn't imagine black existing this dark. I wasn't scared of it. It was trying to suck my partner in. And I just looked at it like, you know. So obviously I'm aware of it. I've met it a few times past, possibly. Not scared of it. But it annoyed me that it was trying to suck my partner into its vortex. But yeah, so they've been around this last few months, I'd say. And they whistle again. And it's funny how your brain hears things, right? Because I hear it during the day. And it sounds like one of those little toys a kid has, like the little flute. So, I'm really rubbish at whistling. But it makes that noise, right? And I hear it during the day, and my mind just thinks, must be a kid playing with a whistle. And then I'll hear it 5 hours later, same noise. I'm like, it's dark. Could that child still be standing there playing with that toy now? And then 1 o'clock in the morning, I'll nip out for a quick cigarette, which I'm still trying to quit. God help me. And I hear it again. I'm thinking, that cannot be a child in the garden playing with a whistle. Then it gets closer. And then my partner hears it and he gets a bit freaked out with these things. So he goes into the house again. And then it happens in the kitchen. Really loud. In fact, it was just before all this coronavirus stuff hit. And it's every time I went to light a cigarette. I'm like, you try to tell me to stop smoking? Is something going to happen that I need to be able to breathe? You know? Probably good advice, eh? But, because even though I do believe this is all about the Great Reset, I do believe there's something that's making people sick. Not to the extent that they say it is. Not at all. I actually believe they released something on purpose in order to get a vaccine to chip us, but it just hasn't had the effect that they hoped it would. Because when I tune in psychically, and I'm never usually wrong when I tune in psychically, I've channeled for years and years, I can feel truth. I've always made the assertion that only the truth be known. I can smell crap, you know. And I do feel that there's a toxin that's been sprayed on us in order to get us to completely behave in a way that they expect us to. But anyway, I'm digressing. So this thing was in the kitchen behind me, super loud, like screaming whistle. Now it was in the kitchen by the fridge, way behind me, and it was so loud I turned around like, oh my god, you know. But what's strange is my partner only heard a but I heard it like a super loud whistle. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, in the kitchen now, what, you know. But they don't talk to me. They don't say anything to me. It's almost like they don't communicate in a way that maybe I'm aware of. Or if they are communicating with me, I'm not realising it's them. Because I know each different type of being, how they communicate. And there is a group of greys that I wouldn't say are very friendly, and they completely monopolise your mind. When they look at you, you almost start going trance-like. You know, you can't focus your eyes. You start going to theta, and which, you know, and during that theta, they are implementing thoughts that you're not even aware of. You don't know the thoughts are going on, but something's going in. Something's going into your head because you feel a wave of energy, but you don't know what it's doing. So if I'm to go to fear camp, they're controlling my mind. They're implanting ideas or seeds or something that's negative. Or if I'm in the happy camp, then they're upgrading my DNA, or they're downloading information I might need that's really important. So I'll stay in the middle and say, I don't fucking know what they're doing. I don't know. They have the ability to change my perceptions. So because they can do that, I can't trust my psychic senses on that one. Because I think they use the same frequency that we sense on. I don't know. I sometimes feel like, today I feel they're bad. Today I feel that's negative. Because if you're going against someone's free will, then it's a negative thing, right? You want to chat first. By the way, hello, hi, it's me. I'm going to just download something into you. Is that okay? You got 5 minutes, you know? No, they just do it. And because that ooh-ness, right? You've no control over that. But then again, maybe did we make contracts before we came here and we said, right, just jump in at any point, just if I need a download urgently, jump in, give me it, you know, that's all good. I don't know. I don't remember that. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. So that's one thing I don't have the answer to, is the ones that mess your head up. Because I'm sure they are the ones that said to me at one point, they want me to work for them. Remember, I don't know if I mentioned that. Can you work for us? You're very good at telepathy. Come work for us. There's a lot of humans screaming needlessly. It makes a mess of things. They scream, they wrestle. Can you just tell them it's okay? And I asked them, what are you doing? Does it benefit humanity? And they said no. I said, well, no, I'm not going to work for you then. No. And then it was like this, nails hissing. They're not nice. They've got jaggy teeth. Not really fond of them at all. But they're different. And people say the greys, you're like, well, which ones? I've met like 5 different types that you could class as a grey. Some of them are so lovely that you think they're just nurturing. They're just like the Florence Nightingale of spacemen. They just feel nice. Yeah, they've got the ability to make me feel nice, but they don't. It's not like they don't. I have an inner core, or I feel that's good. That's your inner core tells you, okay, I'm going to focus on that being. What feelings do I get about them? Ooh, yeah, they're maybe not good dudes. But, I don't know, because they heat lamp. Do you know about heat lamping? Where they will project an emotion or thought or feeling at you, And if you're empathic, then you're going to feel that feeling and think it's you feeling that. But you have to get past that BS very quickly. So when I start feeling anything, if I'm face to face with some entity and I feel this new feeling coming in, I will always stop. Only truth. Only truth. Who are you? Who do you work for? Are your intentions good for me? And it's like they're compelled. If you speak it, they're compelled. Which is why when you're abducted, this paralysis happens. There is 2 reasons for that, but the paralysis, you can't speak. Many of you have had those nightmares where you can't speak, where it's like you try and move your mouth and you can't, because the power of our voices is very commanding, which is why they remove your ability to speak, to say no, to say stop it. They remove it. If any being is removing your ability to say no, go away, then they're negative. That's kind of the long and short of it for me. Anyway, these little whistling dudes, they kept appearing and appearing, and then the last time I saw them was the night that I got the phone call at 4 in the morning to say, you have to come to your dad now. His chest infection is turned bad. He's not going to make it. And it wasn't COVID. He aspiration pneumonia. He's had Alzheimer's very quick. Over a course of a year, he just went from being reasonably okay to couldn't swallow, couldn't answer you. You could tell he was very much there. He just couldn't find the words to answer you. And then he got aspiration pneumonia. He'd inhaled some food and it got into pneumonia in his lungs, and apparently couldn't clear it. So we got the phone call, and then that night, in fact, I'm lying. It wasn't, because I knew I was with my brother. My brother had just had a baby. I'd been in the hospital. I was at the birth, and she'd just given birth, and we had to leave because of COVID. You're allowed in for the birth, and you had to shoot off quickly as soon as it was out, basically. So he'd come home here with me, and as we sat in the garden, we heard the whistling, and he heard it too. And I was like, that must be for you, Stephen, because I've not been here for a while. So yeah, they've been visiting. I don't know why. Maybe to say hello, to check in, perhaps. I don't know if anybody else has had the whistling ones. Please comment and tell me that you've had the whistling ones and what they mean to you and who you think they are, and just what your feeling is about them. I'd love when people share with me experiences they've had too, that just shed some insight onto me, because I don't believe I have all the answers or I'm right. I never believe I'm right, so when somebody else has another opinion, I like to hear it so I can kind of balance my own. It's like we're all inside a dark tunnel trying to see where the candle is to light it. None of us can find the bloody candle. So you have to just use your spidey senses. And in this illusion we live, you can't always trust your spidey senses too when they can be messed with. So it's good to try and get cover the board with lots of opinions. But anyway, I wasn't going to make the video this long because they'll probably walk in any minute. But I am going to make future videos, and it's going to be on the dark shadow men and how they've royally pissed me off this last 4 or 5 years. Really badly. And how I can't get rid of the fizzy man. Long claws. Tried everything, even loving it to death. I'm planting big spears energetically all through my house. It keeps away that keeps away the dark ones, the archons. Seems to keep them well away. They can't be here when that frequency's going off. And other things I'll teach you that I've learned. A lot of it really dark, and you realise as well when you're doing work, when you're saying things to people that obviously the truth, they will come down on you like a bag of potatoes, raining down from the sky. They put me through the deepest shit